All right. So now, if we want to make sure that our filter panel is working correctly with our units here, there are a couple of things we need to do and some changes. So right now, for example, if I want only to see the sold apartments, if I disable these filters, notice how even the filters on the tab or like these, even though they are sold, they are getting hidden. So this is not working as intended, and it's for pretty obvious reason we will tackle in a moment. So if I click here, it will say sold, but it's under available here. And that's because there is a simple mismatch in our filtering panels. So press Ctrl space, let's go to blueprints and let's type filter. Click here, press Ctrl B to locate our unit's filter panel. And here you will see that the data source is our original data table. It's not the Google Sheet. And to get the Google Sheet, if you remember in our points of interest here, we set this, the structure unit data filter. So we need to get this from our points of interest and we want to plug it here. And that's extremely easy to do. So from the array element here, if you click and drag and type get filter, you will get the structure unit data filter. So click and connect this here like so. Now, if you compile, you will get an error because the out row should be connected somewhere. So right now we will not be using this setup here. So let's move it to the tab. And if you hold Ctrl and click connect this here, now this will technically work. So let's go to play and let's go to our unit inventory. And if you click on the filters, you will see now the correct elements. Now, what we need to fix next is when we update our filters from here or our data from here, we want it to be reflected here as well. So right now, that's not happening, and that's what we need to fix, is to make sure that if I update data here, we want it to see here every 2 seconds, 10 seconds, depending on your preference, basically. So let's take care of that. What I'm going to go is to unit data runtime, okay? And we want to go to our sequence here and we want to get widgets with interface. So click and drag and let's get widget with interface. And we want to select the interface we've created earlier, update CSV. So let's specify that, update CSV. And we want to get a function, a message that we want to send, like a signal. So let's go to the blueprint interface and create a new function and let's call update filter POI CSV, for example. Okay, no need for inputs or outputs. Now let's place a new node and let's type update filter CSV like so, and found widgets, let's connect that to the target. Now that's one. Now where this will be implemented, we want to implement this in our taskbar because our taskbar is managing the visibility of the filter panel and others. So when this is on screen, we have a boolean that telling us this is on the screen, and when it's not on screen, it will not be on the screen. So let's go to the graph and let's go to the lower side of our system here. This is where we manage the POI systems, and here we have the filtering panel. Okay, so I'm going to do it under it. So the first thing we'd like to do is to implement an interface. So let's click on class settings here and let's go to implemented interfaces and click on add and let's type the name of our interface, blueprint interface update CSV. And this will give us the panel here, and we want to get update POI data CSV, double click, and this will create an event for us. So I selected the wrong event, so let's select update filter POI, my bad. So delete this, we just want this. And let's place it here. Now, the reason we are creating this in our taskbar, as I said, is because when we add or remove the filtering panel, we have this boolean and we need this boolean. So let's do it without the boolean first. Let's type filter and let's get a reference for our widget blueprint units filter panel. Let's get it. And in this specific widget blueprint, we have this specific function or custom event called filter update. And that's what we need to call every time or every few seconds we update our data tables. So right now this is set to 10. Let's set it, for example, for every 2 seconds. So every 2 seconds, we want to send this signal to our filter POI. So let's go here and let's simply search for filter update and let's connect this here. Now let's compile and let's save. And the first thing you're going to notice if we call that these guys now are visible from here, and that's definitely not supposed to happen. Now let's go to our unit inventory. So we are from the top down view, and if we choose to update these, so I'm going to set them all to sold. As you can see, they work. This is beautiful. It just works. But we just need to fix this little bug where we don't want to see these at the start of the experience. So that's why we've created this in the taskbar. So from here, click and drag, and let's get a branch. And here, the units filter search on screen, we want to click and connect this here. So now, when the taskbar panel, the unit inventory on the screen, this will update. When it's not, it will not update. So now this is on screen, it will update. And if I go back here and press Ctrl Z real quick, you will see that this updated. So I'm going to make some space and I will paste sold on all these. And as you can see, they just updated. Very nice. So to test this even more, let's say this is the market value is set to 200 on the listing ID 87. I'm going to set it to, let's say, 400. Okay, so this here, let's set it to 450 and click. I think I misclicked here, so let's just make sure I clicked somewhere. Now click, set to 450. Let's say I want to set the top floor, and actually let's hide these and let's press Ctrl Z twice. Notice how some of these will disappear because they are not set to sold. So this is working as intended, which is very nice. And let's say right now our budget, the maximum is 505, or let's say 400, okay? 15. So if I change the budget on these units, so the budget on these is this number. So let's set it to 450 and let's paste it here. These will get out of our view now because they are above our budget. So the filter now is working as intended. If we Ctrl Z, it will show us the units. So let's say I want only to see the available units. This is what I see. And let's say for some reason, this top floor here now is set to available. It's not sold anymore, or maybe someone said it, or it's just in the inventory, and now it's set to available. And let's say all of this is available, and give it a second, and all of this is available. So, except for this guy for some reason, let's see why. So did we select it? Let's click somewhere. Oh yeah, because the budget. So we changed the budget. I got scared for a second. And yeah, so if I press Ctrl Z, we will see now only the available units. And you get the idea. You can change anything you want and it will always, always, always update. So I'm gonna press Ctrl Z a couple of times to reset the values. Oh, not to Apple. You don't want to have different values or different keys because that will mess up your data table. So let's say this is an integer here. If I type numbers and let's see for all of this, they will disappear or they may not update as intended. So listing ID now is set to 0. They didn't disappear. But let's say the floor number or something like the bedrooms. So let's say here, I'm going to set the bedrooms to these. They will disappear because these are integers. So you must follow the system you create. If it's an integer, then it should contain a number. If it's a string, no problem, and so on. So let's reset these values and we're good. So now if I click somewhere, we get back the good old listing ID. So let's say the listing ID here is 887 and click and click. Of course, I think I didn't save it. Click somewhere, click, it's 887. I keep making this mistake where I change a value and I don't click somewhere else. So now you get the idea. All right. So technically, if you want to stop here, you can stop here. The system is working as intended perfectly. In the next step, we will learn how we can work with Google Sheets when we set it to hidden. So maybe for security purposes, or you cannot ask your client to make their Google Sheet publicly available. So we will learn how we can tackle this just so we deliver professional experiences that are custom, and that are nice. So let's keep going and let's keep learning. I will see you in the next part.